Welcome back to part 2 of creating this special junk journal for Dephemerember 2024. In part 1, we cut up a pair of jeans, decided on the measurements, and prepared a paper bag as a base and chose some fabrics to glue onto the paper bag. Today, we're diving back in to finish it up by altering the inside cover, adding those fun jeans pieces on the outside, and putting on the final touches to get the journal ready. I'm so excited to continue this project with you, especially since this journal is for my dear friend and collaborator, Louise Heinzel. Together, we're gearing up for another creative and inspiring Dephemerember, and this journal will be my gift to her for the challenge. If you're just tuning in now, be sure to check out part 1, the Q&A video about this year's Dephemerember, and the Dephemerember landing page with all relevant information to catch up. You'll find all the links and details in the description box below. And don't forget, the prompt list for Dephemerember will be released on November 15th, so you'll have plenty of time to prepare. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. It's nerve-wracking enough to make a cover on YouTube when you don't know what you're doing, and it's for Louise. That's like a whole nother level of pressure. I say that in the most loving way, Louise. I love making something for you. It is an honor. I'm still not sure about this piece, to be honest. The other option would be just to use the rectangles. If I just do the rectangles, it gives me the opportunity actually to add a focal point or not at the end. You know what? I'll do that. Do we put it on the back side? Is Louise going to think it's boring if this is not there? Am I completely overthinking this now? I think so. But I do think she would love this piece. Okay, you know what? We're going to put it on the back. Let's see, where is my fold? My fold is here. So this would be a good place. So basically, I'm turning around what I did before. And I'm putting my rectangles here. And I'm not brave enough to just glue them down because I need to figure out how this is going to look nice. The pressure, because this is the front. And it needs to look good if I decide not to have a focal point. You know what I mean? Like, I am putting way too much pressure on myself. I know. And I know you're probably thinking, no matter what you do, Louise is going to love it. And you're probably right. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do your best. And of course, I am doing my best. But, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. So we continue this. Oh, but you know what? We have, ooh, wait, where's my spine? Did that just happen now by coincidence? Wait, where's my, oh my, no, look at this, look at this. So my spine is from here to here. Can you see it? Kind of hard to show you. So you get the idea, it's here. And look, right in the middle it says shine your light. I totally didn't plan this. How perfect is this on the spine? Oh my goodness, that makes me so happy right now. Okay, so obviously we're not covering that part up. Oh wow, yay. Don't you just love it when these things happen? I mean, could it be any more perfect? See, I don't know what I want this thing here to look like. Let's find a small one. I don't have any. Here's one. Not loving this. Maybe this needs to... I also wonder if it's going to be an issue that the jeans material goes right over the fold of the spine. Maybe I should be more mindful. Yeah, because look, if this folds now, then I have a few that are right there on that line, which is probably not ideal. So I will move all of these over a little bit. Nope, see, this is covering our thing. This is like Tetris. And same thing here. So my fold is here, so I don't want to just go over here a little bit. I think that will, first of all, look strange, and also I don't want anything to hinder. I just think that will look strange, you know? So if we want something going into the spine, it needs to be a little more substantial. You know what? I'm going to cut these because you can't see enough of the fabric underneath. There. Yes, that's better. That also makes it a bit easier to keep the shape of this. So how do we like this? Is it Louise style? I think it is actually. Okay, I think I'm going to go with this. I cannot tell you how happy this makes me. I could not have planned it any better. I just don't know, do I like this here? Because if I don't put a focal point on, because then this will be the front. And what is this here? I guess we'll just have to add a focal point. That will be my next challenge. Now I'm going to just use regular tacky glue. I'm not thinning this down because obviously denim is quite a heavy material. So I'm just going to add some, mostly to the middle of my pieces without moving them. This is because I will be sewing over this. So obviously, if you're not going to sew, then please glue your pieces down properly. Not like how I'm doing it here. This is more or less just to keep them in place. I'm just thinking maybe it's actually easier if you don't know that much about the person you're giving the journal to or you're swapping the journal with, because that way you will just do what you like, and I'm sure your swap partner will love it no matter what, and you're not overthinking this like I am at the moment. You know what I mean? So all the pieces are secured, and now this needs to dry before I take it to my sewing machine, otherwise I'm totally going to muck up my needle. But while this dries, we can figure out what to do with the inside fabric. This is too plain for Louisa. I already know this. So what can we do? So this looks very vintage, doesn't it? And our cover looks very contemporary. In order to make the inside and the outside a little more cohesive, we're going to add some contemporary stamping. I'm choosing these two stamp sets. They are some of my favorites. They're both by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. This one here is called Glitch CMS 404. Very industrial looking. And this one here is called Paint by Numbers CMS 483. I will link both of these for you below in case you want to have a look at these. I just love the brush strokes and these big bold numbers. So let's just have some fun and add some stamping. And I'm going to use Jet Black Archival ink. I definitely want a waterproof ink, not only because I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to add maybe some distress inks or oxides or sprays or whatever, but also because I want this to be waterproof. Louisa loves working with wet media, so I don't want any chance of anything coming off later. Oh yeah. Love it. I'm just thinking, since I plan on using the numbers as well, and this is for Dephemerember in December, maybe I want to leave space and put maybe 12 here for December, and then 24 here for 2024. Oh, maybe I may put the whole year here, because I was just about to put this here on this empty space, but no, let's not do that. Let's put this here. Love it! Since I plan on making a hidden spine, I don't need to worry about stamping here in this spine region because we'll be covering that up with the hidden spine. So I don't need to stamp there. Okay, this one is not so visible. Let's try that again. Okay, I obviously didn't press well enough there because this is great. So I've also taken this to my sewing machine because I wanted to accentuate some of these design elements, of course, especially the date. So I don't have one of these free flow stitching foots, whatever they're called, you know what I mean. But you can still do quite a bit if you just have a regular sewing foot. I also went through the crosses and even these plus signs I went through, so you can see it here on the back maybe a little bit better. So for the crosses, for example, that was a bit tedious. I went through each one. So I put my foot down, went this way, turned it around, went the other way, cut off the thread. Did that for 3, and then I did the same thing in the other direction. So that took quite a while, but I think the result is so worth it. And now I'm trying to channel my inner little junk journal scientist, Louisa. And she would say, it's great so far, but it needs more grunge. So let's make our inner Louisa happy. And start with something very subtle. Lost Shadow Oxide Spray. Something our inner Louisa would probably not choose is this stencil. I've made this many years ago by printing out some star designs, laminating it, and cutting them out with a Stanley knife. I'm so happy I still have this. Let's see what happens if we do this. So this Lost Shadow is so light. Maybe we start in the middle, because if it goes wrong, then we can still cover it up with our spine. Oh, this is so subtle. Maybe we won't even see it. Oh, we do. Oh, that is gorgeous. Okay, way to go. So let's do this. I should have done this before and then stitched over it, because look, I'm going over my stitching here. Let's see what it looks like when we lift it off. Oh, I actually really like it. We kind of don't see the stitching here that well anymore, but I think that's all right. So let's be mindful and not put it over the numbers too much, because that would be a shame. Okay, so the thing is, we can't actually see that they're stars because of course the fabric is so absorbent that it just soaks it up and spreads it. This is kind of still there, but of course this one will be covered. Aw! Let's try another large one then. Oh, I took the wrong one. Oh no! This is frayed burlap, or braid furlap as I like to call it. Oh my goodness, this is much darker. Okay, I wasn't sure yet whether I wanted to use this, so I guess I'm using it. What have I done? Maybe the trick is to spray less, and hopefully this will keep its shape better. Let's try one up here. Of course, these things happen to have to happen on the cover. There we go. Yeah, maybe just one spritz. This is better. Or 2. And then, yeah, that's the way to... Well, look. See, this one was sprayed into the Lost Shadow here as well. So they're kind of... Oh, I actually really like this spot. But these are keeping their shape. Look at that. So let's do a couple more here. And to balance it, we need a few more here as well. Yeah, so the key is definitely not to spray too much. Okay, I'm going to leave it. Let's move this to the side. Oh wow, that really came through, didn't it? And then let's add this to one of our papers, because I don't want to waste this. Oh, that looks interesting. We like that. Okay, this needs to dry. Wow, the oxidation looks incredible. So it's a couple of hours later, and as we can see, the Lost Shadow Distress Oxide is hardly visible at all, which is fine because those were just the blobs. But the frayed burlap, or braid furlap, is visible, and that's awesome. I really love how this turned out, and I love this yellow, what is this called, wicking, I think, because that yellow is, of course, this will unfortunately be covered up, is of course part of that dye. I love how that's coming out, and I love that the stars are still stars. And I just realized how perfect the stars actually are. Since we're not in December yet, my brain isn't in December and Christmas mode yet. So obviously the stars are perfect for December. And also, even if you don't have a sewing machine, please take this as inspiration. If you don't have stamps like this, you just make your own marks with a permanent marker. There are a lot of options, even if you don't have the same supplies. And then I also sewed around my denim rectangles. And this now has the illusion that all of the rectangles were sewn around first and then glued on, which actually might be a lot simpler than what I did. The ones that are underneath, I just sewed the parts that you can see. And then the parts on top, of course, I could sew all the way around, but that meant a lot of stopping, cutting the threads and going again. So I think it might actually be simpler to sew around all of the pieces first and then to glue them down. So this is what the back looks like, which of course will be covered up with this piece. Are we happy with this, or does it need anything else? No, I don't actually want to add anything else to the inside. So let's glue this one on, and I'm doing that exactly the same way as I did with the front fabric. By the way, this Distress Oxide is not coming off the fabric, so that's awesome. So once this dries, I'm going to again take this to my sewing machine. Again, this is optional, it's purely decoration. I'm going to sew, am I? I'm wondering actually. Yeah, it kind of just looks more finished, but the question is which color thread. I think I'll take white on the outside, and on the inside, white or black? I'll do black on the inside. I'm not sure I've ever done that, to use two different colors, but why not? Okay, it's all sewn. So on the outside we have the white border, so I went around it twice with a running stitch. And on the inside we have black, mostly black. I say that because I had some issues while I was sewing on this edge. I don't know, it has some very creative white loops in here now. It just adds to the texture. But one thing I saw which makes me sad is I didn't see these plus signs, so I didn't stitch on them like I did here, and I can't now because now it would go through the cover and I don't want to do that. Aw, bummer, but it's okay. So now I'm going to put my old planner in here so that I get the shape of what this is going to look like once it's filled up. Oh, I hope Louisa will love this as much as I do. But of course, we're not done yet. So I was checking out Louisa's digitals to see which one might work for a cover image. And I had one particular one in mind that I thought might work really well here, which is this one. And this one is called Translucent Flower Whisper Journal Backgrounds. I will link this kit for you below. And as you can see, this is glossy. Actually, this paper was not what I wanted to buy. Maybe you have seen Louise's video, this is now a few months ago, where she used this amazing kit on some holographic vinyl sheets, so like sticker paper. That's what I wanted to add here. And the paper that she had linked under her video from Amazon is currently not available when I'm filming this. So I was looking for a different brand, and yeah, typical me. I have the vinyl sheets, but they're not holographic, so I didn't see that. Oops. I don't really have time to order different ones now. So we'll just go with this and make the best out of it. So these are glossy for inkjet and laser print. 34 sheets, A4. I will link these from Amazon Germany for you below in case you want to have these for some reason. I considered sending them back, but now I'm like, let's use them. Why not use them? They're not as pretty as the holographic effect that Louisa has. If you have not seen that video, please. She has at least 2 videos where she works with that paper. It is mind-blowing. So I just want to show you what the paper looks like. So it's just white glossy paper, and on the back is a sticker sheet. So here we can also see that if we take this off, this is actually white and not transparent. So I've printed on this with my inkjet printer. Since this is made also for inkjet printer, in theory, the ink is not going to come off. And it's not. So that's great. So I'm thinking of either using, oh, and I should maybe mention, I printed this a little bit smaller. The interesting thing is when you open the JPEG and you see the original scale is 23%, not 100% for some reason. I don't know, that happens sometimes with digitals. So I printed this at 18%. So I am really not sure, do I want this image? I mean, because I really love the blue here. It's just amazing. Or do I, no, it has to be this one. Okay, I just made up my mind. So I'm going to cut out this portion and then we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so we have this. Wow, that looks pretty amazing. And the blue and the green, I think, are actually beautiful together. Is it too big? Does it cover too much? No, I don't think so. I think we can still see plenty of the cover around it. Don't really want to cut it down anymore because this image is just so gorgeous. But of course, this is for Louisa, so we cannot just put this here. We need to always take it a step further. So I'm going to try one of the techniques that Louisa was showing in her video where she used the holographic paper, and we'll see if it works on this paper. Why not? So she took a stencil. I'm going to take this one here. It has the number THS 158. I'm going to tape this on my surface. And then I'm also going to tape down the image. It would be interesting to see actually if this technique would also work with regular paper. Probably worth trying. Okay, so this is not moving. And now we're going to take the sanding disc or a regular sanding paper, and we're going to lightly go over this, and I'm going to concentrate on the middle of the flower here where it's white. I don't want to do this all over. I just want a very subtle effect. I just want Louisa to be proud of me that I tried this. Okay, so I'm just going to sand this lightly in circular motions. It's working. Okay, let's get a Swiffer and take all the dust off. Oh my goodness, I love this. Do you see how cool this design is coming through? Wowza! I think Louisa would be proud. So in Louisa's video, she takes it one step further by making the image damp. So by misting it, I'm not doing this now. So she mists it and then she taps it off with a paper towel so that it's almost dry, not quite. And then she'll go over it again, very gently, with the sandpaper. And then you get a very different effect. It becomes like a grayish, brownish sludge. Which actually looks very cool. So you could put another stencil under it and then get another design coming through, but that would make this dark again, which I don't want. I love that it's light here. So this is what it would look like on the cover. But having said that, I wanted to keep this light. I now have the evergreen bow, which is super similar to the green we have in the cover. And I'm wondering if I should try to add some, oh, that could ruin it. You know what, I'm just gonna go for it, because if you're always afraid of ruining something and never try it, you're never going to learn and grow as an artist. So let's do this. So Louisa is sharing several techniques you can use with the holographic paper. All of them look super cool. She's really our junk journal scientist. Okay, let's do this. Let's just be brave. Worst case scenario, first of all, I still have this one, and second of all, I can always print another one. I don't want to make the whole thing green because I don't know, will the color just stick on our design or will it stick on everything? I really don't know. But that's what we're trying to find out here, right? Ooh, this looks super interesting. So I have the feeling it's only sticking on the part that we sanded off. Let's take something to wipe this. Look at that. That looks actually really cool. I'm happy I did that. Does it rub off? No. Wow. Okay, what does it look like? Yeah, now it fits better because look, we have the green. This is really good. So since this is on a flimsy paper, and I want this to be more sturdy, especially because this background is very uneven, I want to add some cardstock. So one option is this denim blue, and I would just show a tiny frame. So that would be like this. I love how it makes the blue come out more, although it's a different kind of blue. That's one option. Another option would be black, because you know the jeans are black, this background is black. That would totally work, but it's kind of dark, huh? The other option would be this gray-green, which is not quite the right green, but maybe we could color that. Let's give that a try. So I'll trim it down first. So what's actually really cool is that it's almost the same color as inside here. And actually this fits very well to the lighter green here. Now I see it a lot better. I don't think we need to change that. I really like it. So let's glue. Oh, we don't have to glue. We can just peel this off. I forgot. So hopefully this will stick well. Oh yeah, it seems like it sticks well. Of course, sticking it rather than gluing it means there's no wiggle room. So this needs to be straight on the first try. Almost. Okay, I'll just adjust it a little bit with the paper trimmer. I also want the cover to have some sort of a sentiment. And I found one that I think is very fitting, or it's going to be very fitting, which is this one. Full of Wonder. This is from these word plaques. There's 4 in here. I will color this, but I think this needs to go here, because once this is filled up, it's definitely going to be full of wonders. Don't you agree? We need to do this. If I would have a white crayon, I would try it with that, but since I don't, I'm just going to take my thickest gesso. Oops, I think I should shake that. Let's try that again. Oh yeah, much better. I'll just use my fingers. It could be that white acrylic paint would actually be better. I think the important thing is that it's rather thick. Get it in all the little nooks here. Don't forget that you don't need the back side, but you need the sides as well. Okay, that needs to dry. Okay, I've dried this with my heat tool. If you do that, please be careful, because obviously this is metal and it's going to get very, very hot. So now we have this. We can't really read it well. So I've done this once by sanding off the top layer to make that come out a little bit more. So that's one option, but I want to try something else this time. I'm going to try going over this with the Hickory Smoke Distress Crayon. I never actually use these, so let's give this a try. This is very interesting. Let's put it on the edge as well. And then I think we need to rub this. As I said, I've never done this. So, I don't know. Let's take a kitchen towel. And if we rub it, it's gonna come off now. Okay, we'll just try it and see what happens. Actually, maybe I didn't even need the white underneath if I'm doing it like this. I'm not sure what's happening here. So I have the feeling the crayon is mixing a little bit with the white. This is not really the effect I wanted. So I will sand it down again, because I think we can read that better than when it's shiny. Yeah, we can read it now. It's shiny, and yeah, that's okay. We can't see any of the crayon, but that's fine. So this will go here. And I'm going to sew this on rather than using brads. So I added some glue underneath because I want this to stay straight. I punched 2 holes with my awl, one inside the hole and one next to it. And I chose this blue thread, which brings out this blue even more. Do we want brads on the corners? I actually don't. So now all that's left to do is to glue this onto the cover. Oh no, oh no. No, I can't do this. I wanted to also stitch around here in white, but now I have this so close to the edge. Oh no, Barbara. Oh, that annoys me now. Let me see if I can make that work. No, the foot of my sewing machine, yep, my sewing machine is too wide. One of you had suggested that I was in a similar situation when I was trying to sew in signatures to a journal, that you can use your zipper foot and then that would have more space on one side. I just checked, I can't find a zipper foot. But you know what? This annoys me so much that we're going to take this off and redo this once it's sewn. Thank goodness the glue has not gripped yet. I can't. Okay, let's do this. Look, isn't this so much better with the white stitching, especially because we have the stitching all around and this just now kind of really blends in. Looking at it through the screen now, I mean, wow. I think Louise is going to love this. Oh, this makes me so happy. So now we can just glue this on finally. Boop, boop. So I must say, given that I had no idea what was gonna happen with this cover or how this was going to look, I just walked into my craft room this morning and I saw the pile of jeans because I had used them for another project. And I was like, oh, let's make a jeans patchwork journal. That was the only thought I had in my mind. And look what happened. One thing led to the other, baby steps. So maybe this is something that you can try if you feel overwhelmed with a project. Just go in knowing one step and then see where that leads you. I think that is so much fun. I could not have planned this if I wanted to be honest. So this will bond. Oh my goodness. I am so excited for Louisa to open this. Obviously, we still need to fill it on the inside. But for today, this is the cover. She will definitely shine her light. Also love the back. I think this is totally up her alley. I think the only thing that Louisa would still add, and I was actually thinking about it, but now I'm kind of glad I didn't do it. I was thinking of adding some stenciling with some permanent white acrylic spray underneath, just to make it even more crazy. But I'm glad I didn't. I think now, for me, it's perfect. That's all that counts. So it's actually the next day. I had already closed down the other video yesterday, but then I realized something very important, which you can already see here. How could I forget the white splatters? How can I make a journal cover with an image like this without white splatters for Louisa? That's a complete no-go. The interesting thing is, even though I let this air dry, this is thinned down white gesso. Can you see that it kind of has bubbles and interesting structures in here? I don't know why. That's something I would expect when I try this with my heat gun. So very, very interesting. I'm fine with it because it adds extra texture. So all good. So in the next video in this series, we're going to be selecting pages for our signatures. I hope you join us again. So if you haven't already, hop on over to Louise's channel to check out the cover that she has made for me. I cannot tell you how excited I am. I, of course, have no idea what she's doing. So enjoy being the first to see that. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.